Now for your top stories of the week, the Biden administration announced an expansion of their efforts to get American women on contraception and to opt for abortions. President Biden's new task force will ensure the enforcement of the Emergency Medical Treatment and Labor Act, also known as EMTALA. The administration says this law requires hospitals to perform emergency abortions, even in states where laws have been enacted that ban most killings of unborn children. Federal agencies are also issuing guidelines that would use tax dollars to make contraceptives free. The White House announced all of this on Monday, which marked 51 years since the Roe VS Wade decision, in which the Supreme Court invented a right to abortion. The administration's priorities were made clear in the press briefing room.
If it's in Roe, then that's what he wants to see. Whatever is in Roe, what Roe was when it was a constitutional law, that's what the president wants to see restored. He's been very clear about that.
That was President Biden's White House press secretary Karine Jean-Pierre's response to EWTN's Toby Capian when he asked her if the president supports painful late-term abortions. Here's more of their exchange.
He also said he wants to be a president for all Americans, but how in this situation with this issue does he best represent the pro-life Americans who want to see more unborn babies saved?
What I will say is majority of Americans want women to be able to make those deeply, deeply personal decisions on their bodies, on their own, not politicians. That's what majority of Americans want to see. And so the president's going to stand with majority of Americans on this issue.
Do those unborn babies have any rights then?
I'm not going to get into that question.
The day before the National March for Life, the Knights of Columbus and Marist poll released a new poll that sheds some light on where Americans stand when it comes to abortion. 58% of Americans identify as pro-choice or pro-abortion, and a third of respondents believe abortion should be allowed without any limits. 40% of respondents identified as pro-life. A little over 60% of Americans agreed that an in-person visit with a healthcare professional should be required for anyone seeking a chemical abortion. And more than 80% of respondents support pregnancy resource centers that help mothers during and after pregnancy. Former President Donald Trump won the New Hampshire primary by double digits on Tuesday against former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley. Trump garnered about 55% of the vote, with Haley tallying around 43%. Despite another primary loss, Haley is not throwing in the towel yet on her presidential bid. Defending life in the womb continues to be a topic of major importance in the elections, and Democrats are banking on the fact that many Americans still want to see some allowances for abortion. When the Republican primary race does come to an end, the GOP candidate for president will be up against a Democrat campaign that's saying, quote, "A vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris is a vote to restore Roe, and a vote for Donald Trump is a vote to ban abortion access across the country. These are the stakes in 2024. This week, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris appeared together at a pro-abortion rally in Virginia. The vice president will continue touring around the country to stump for abortion, and the campaign has deployed spokespeople to battleground states such as Arizona, Florida, Nevada, and more to echo their pro-abortion message. And come rain, come shine, come snow, the pro-life movement marches on. Tens of thousands of pro-life advocates braved freezing temperatures last Friday to march through the streets of D.C. for the unborn. And across the country in San Francisco, a little rain did not stop thousands of pro-lifers from marching through the Golden Gate City. Missed out on the pro-life festivities? Go to our EWTN YouTube page to watch the rallies and see highlights.